This is Mr. John. This is the first YouTube video I've ever tried to create. This is my full-length black mirror. Now you see it's a regular mirror. It's not actually a black mirror. And anyone who knows anything about black mirrors know that they're normally black. But the ways that how I turn it into a black mirror is, if you can see behind the mirror, I've set the candle on the floor. And that's behind the mirror. And the reason that I do this is so that the light doesn't shine on the mirror. Now, I'm in a pitch black room. If I turn the light off, you can't see it through the camera. The camera won't catch it. But it looks like a black mirror. It looks like a black, shiny surface with an outline. There's slight reflections because there's minimal light in here if I turn the light off. In fact, babe, will you turn the light off for me real fast? Just so you can see. Now, as you can see, it gets real dark real quick. Turn the light back on, please. Now, scrying can be done in a coffee cup. It can be done in a pool of water. It can be done in a teacup. That's traditional scrying, reading tea leaves. It can be done many, many ways. And what it actually is a form of meditation. And, for instance, many good scryers will scry in their coffee in the morning or scry in their tea in the afternoon every day to practice this art, and then they have something, whether it be a black mirror or another thing that they're using as a actual scrying device for rituals and so on and so forth. Now I'm going to sit down. Now this is a full-length mirror, and I use this because it's a lot more useful. Now with a full-length mirror, I can stare at myself in the mirror. Now, one exercise you can do with a mirror like this is you can become the person on the other side of the mirror and create an astral sending, which you can send forth to do things for you. You can also astral project into the mirror and use it as a portal to go and see. This here is a sigil that I placed up here. I used this mirror as a portal not that long ago, and you can use it as a portal to travel through the mirror. Now that washes right off, but for the purpose of this, I wanted to leave the sigil on there. Now, what you do for scrying is you stare into your thing that you're scrying in, whatever that may be. And you relax, take a few deep breaths. Meditate slightly, and then begin staring into the mirror. Now, this, of course, isn't going to work. I could do mirror work right now, but scrying is impossible because the light's on. But if I were to turn the light off, then I could use it as a black mirror. Right now it's just a plain mirror, but you stare into it and you try to see through the mirror, and you set your intent in your mind. You know, it's like meditation, except for meditation in Buddhist terminology is quieting the monkeys. That's what the word in Chinese is for meditation. You're quieting the mind. Now, we're trying to listen to the monkeys, but we're trying to do it in a controlled way. We only want to know the parts that the monkeys have to say about what we want to learn about. And we may have visions in the mirror. We may hear voices. We may, any number of things. There's lots of ways. Now, many people, when they first start scrying, will see colored clouds. Now, the colored clouds can signify different things depending on the colors and what those colors mean to that person. And they can also form shapes, which you can discern information that way. So don't think just because you're not seeing anything that you're doing it wrong, because you're not. And honestly, this technique probably will take you a good month or so of practice before you see any results. Most people. Now, some people might get it right off the bat. So anyways, you meditate in the mirror, and you do what you would normally do for a minute. You sit in a still position, and you breathe deeply, filling your entire lungs, and then emptying your entire lungs. But instead of reaching that no-mind state, you're stopping and listening to the monkeys. But because you have that intent in your mind of what you're seeking, what knowledge you're seeking through the scrying attempt, anything that has to do with that, you kind of have to learn to toss out until you get to until you learn to focus on just the information that has to do with what you're scrying for. In many rituals, scrying and many ritual techniques, black mirrors are used to communicate with spirits. I strongly suggest that you cleanse it once in a while. And a good way to cleanse it is to have a banishing oil. And this is my banishing oil. Here. I have a little jar of banishing oil. And all this is various essential oils that deal with management and protection. I believe I used it was frankincense, myrrh, which are both very solar, bright, light kind of scents, and the myrrh intensifies it. And there's also some other little mojo in there, you know, and I'm not going to get into right now. But anyways, and you can just take it, put a cross on there or a pentacle, whichever, whatever your personal preference is, with the oil. And now it's sealed. There's nothing going to come through the mirror. Now, and you sit, you meditate, and that's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot to it. It's not rocket science. You can scry in a cup of coffee. You can start scrying tomorrow morning in your morning cup of coffee. Just make sure there's no overhead light source to create a glare on your black mirror, on your surface. And that's basic scrying. Thank you very much.